Hey guys, today I'm going to do a review on the Gerber LMF 2 Infantry knife. This knife is pretty adaptable. I've made comments about it on YouTube, on other people's videos, and with my friends. So I decided to do a review of it. I think this knife will only run out of ideas when you run out of ideas to use it for. Even if you break it, some parts of the knife would still be able to be used for other tasks. So the knife isn't just a one-purpose knife. It is multi-purpose, and that's one of the major things that I like about it. It is very nice. It's high quality, in my opinion. There's a lot of opinions on YouTube, and I don't feel that their expectations of this knife is what this knife is intended for, which I'll go over in this video. While the knife can do many things and anything you need it to do in a survival situation, it's obvious to me that you should use the correct tools for the job if you have them. But if you don't, and this is your last knife, or this is the only knife that you brought, then you can use it for whatever you need it to be to make sure that you save your life. Some of the usages for this knife are to cut through a seat belt if you get stuck in a car, or cut through the parachute cord if you get stuck in a tree after jumping. You need to get down, you need to cut your way out of your parachute. Or even if you need to cut through softer metals like the skin of an aircraft after the door is jammed or your ejection method is jammed. It can also be used as a hammer. It has a separation between the blade and the butt cap. It prevents two types of shocks. The first type of shock that it prevents is the impact from hammering, and it also prevents the shock of electricity. If you're cutting wires and it still has electricity running through it, touching this, the separation is supposed to block the electricity from passing, so it does not shock you if you're touching this part of the knife. You can cut through plexiglass or regular glass. It has this pointed edge on this end, so you can use it to break right through things. That's one of the good tools about this if you're in an urban situation after a natural disaster and there's nobody around, there's abandoned buildings, you need to get into them. This knife will help you get into those abandoned buildings. It'll help you smash or break through to get in. There might be supplies in there that you need. Like I said, it's really limited to your imagination. The specifications on this knife are the overall length of the knife is 10.59 inches and the weight is 11.4 ounces. It's a drop point style blade with the length of 4.84 inches and a thickness of 3/16 of an inch. The blade material is 420 high carbon stainless steel in black with a partial serrated blade, which you can see. The handle is a glass-filled nylon, which has a soft rubber grip overmold, which helps limit blistering when you're using it to cut or break through things. It holds a real nice grip. It doesn't slip from my hand. It fits really nicely. The sheath has an integrated sharpener, which means it has the possibility to keep the edge sharp in the field while also keeping a low profile. You simply undo the straps and this part of the sheath comes off. Or you can leave the top set of straps on here and just tilt it up. To sharpen the knife, you just run it through here. It works really nice. Just because when you're using a blade, it rounds off the blade and it makes it duller. So this type of sharpener keeps that blade from rounding off. It just gives it a quick fix pretty much. Now if you get chips in your blade, this sharpener will not remove those chips. You'll have to pull out a wet rock or whatever your method of sharpening is to get this blade back to what it needs to be. It is a very sharp blade. I really like the serrated edge right here. It's really nice for cutting through things. It doesn't really work that great for survival like bushcraft. It is really more of an urban survival tool than anything. Now, with all that behind us, let us realize that this knife isn't specifically created for bushcraft. It is more of an urban or modern survival tool, like I just said. It isn't great for going into the woods to use as your only tool, but that doesn't mean you can't do it. If you pack the right tools, take them. Don't intentionally rely your life on any one tool. It wouldn't be smart from the start. This isn't the perfect tool for every job. It is just another multi-purpose item that is decent with many jobs, in my opinion. I've used this knife quite a lot. I don't know if you can see it in the video, but I have used this knife I've had it about 6 months now, and I've used it pretty extensively. I only have had a few chips in the blade, but this knife has been dropped on concrete this way, not just, hitting the handle or anything. I've actually dropped this blade right down onto the concrete from about 4 feet in the air, and it's really in great shape. There's a few nicks in the blade that I haven't fully gotten out sharpening it. It holds an edge really nice, in my opinion. And it's also made in Portland, Oregon in the United States, which is another plus. It also has a Gerber stamp right here. But I bought this knife because I can think of many solutions that this knife will aid me, and I believe that it's worth the money that I paid, even more than the money that I paid for it. I feel that my life is worth more than any tool could ever cost. If any natural man-made disaster happens and I have to retreat from my house, I will be glad that I brought this knife with me. It will be one of my keys in my survival, whether it's bushcraft or breaking into abandoned buildings. This knife will serve me as a wonderful tool. If this tool is right for you or worth the $100 that you're going to spend, well, that's on you. Can you imagine the many uses for this knife and successfully complete those tasks? Because if you can't think of any uses for the knife right now, don't even buy it. It's probably not going to be the knife for you, because there's many knives out there that can do some of the things that I've listed, maybe even better. It really comes down to your expectations of the knife, your skill level, and your intelligence to execute the things needed to do to get you out of a survival situation. You be the judge on that. This knife, it also came with these leg straps, so you can attach it to your leg if you want, or your ankle if you prefer to keep it on your ankle. It has a belt loop right here, which you can attach it to your belt loop. You don't even need to keep any of this with it. You can just keep the knife in this section of the sheath. Throw it in your backpack, however you want. It's really up to you. And it's really up to you if you're going to like this knife or not. Personally, I really enjoy this knife. But it really comes down to what you want, your uses for it, and what you can imagine. So, let me know what you think. Do you have any experience with this knife? If you do, post a comment. Good luck.